Hello everyone, welcome back to Property Ponderings. My name's Craig Nichol from Nichol Buyer Advisory in Melbourne, Australia, where we help people buy and renovate their properties. I'm bringing to you over 15 years of experience across a wide range of specialties within real estate, and I'm here to help you make better property buying decisions and build the future you're chasing. Today in the episode, we're going to be talking about buying property interstate, a topic that's becoming more relevant to buyers and investors as they look beyond their local markets for better opportunities. Whether you're searching for an affordable home, looking for a diversification for your investment portfolio, or chasing higher rental yields, buying property in another state can be a smart move. However, it does come with unique challenges and practicalities. In this episode, we'll guide you through the key steps to ensure your interstate purchase goes smoothly. So we're going to be talking about 6 different steps or key aspects that I want everyone to focus on. The first one is researching the local market. The first step in buying property interstate is thoroughly researching the market. Property markets across Australia vary significantly. For example, Melbourne's housing market can behave very differently from that in Brisbane or Adelaide. It's important to understand the local market trends, property prices, rental yields, and future growth potential before committing to an area. You need to understand these locations intimately so that you know which parts of which suburbs are the best properties, which type of property is being purchased for the market demographic that you're going for, that you're expecting potentially high growth into the future. So that might be a family type property. What do families want in that area? It's a lot clearer, for example, that if you go up into far north Queensland, people would expect or be keener to have a swimming pool, whereas if you're down south and it's a little bit cooler, then the swimming pool isn't such a big deal. So little things like that you really need to understand. In Melbourne, another example, you may need to be very close to a cafe, whereas in different parts of Australia that might not be as important, as we do have a very big coffee culture here in Melbourne. So how do you do this research? Firstly, we need to use local data. Look at property price trends, median house prices, and auction clearance rates. Websites like CoreLogic, Domain, and realestate.com.au offer you valuable market insights and reports specific to each state and city. Secondly, rental yields and vacancy rates. If you're an investor, focus on rental yields and vacancy rates in the area to gauge the income potential of your investment. Cities like Brisbane often offer higher rental yields compared to, say, Sydney or Melbourne. So understand what you're looking for. And if you've got a rental yield that looks impressive in Brisbane, compared to the other states, it might not be that impressive if you actually look at the wider local data. So really get to understand that. And then thirdly, let's look at employment and infrastructure. Check out local employment rates, infrastructure projects, local businesses, and future development plans. Areas with strong employment opportunities and good transport links tend to offer better long-term growth potential. Once you have that local data information, you can then compare it to other places as well. You might see that there's more employment opportunities in a different suburb than the one that you're researching. So that might mean that you have better opportunities in the neighbouring suburb. So just understanding those dynamics or the suburb that you're looking at really intimately, and then looking at wider areas to see how they compare and the other opportunities that present themselves as well. A pro tip is to speak to local real estate agents or buyers agents in that area for up-to-date insights. They can offer local knowledge and tips on which suburbs are on the rise or experiencing growth, and that can be really up-to-date data. They are in the market every single day. They can see what's going on and they can really pick up on some really important trends that you might be able to leverage off to create a better buying opportunity. Number 2 expert tip is to understand the legal and financial differences between states and local areas. Each state and territory in Australia has different laws, fees and taxes related to property purchases. For example, stamp duty rates and land tax can vary significantly across states, as can the processes involved in settlement and conveyancing. So with stamp duty, some states like New South Wales have higher stamp duty costs than others like Queensland. For investors, understanding land tax thresholds is crucial because these land taxes can erode rental returns over time. Make sure you research these costs or speak to a local conveyancer or solicitor to get the full picture. A lot of people do buy into different states as they reach certain thresholds of land tax. So this one can be really important, and I'm sure one that people are cognizant of if they are looking at buying interstate. Another important point is first home buyer grants. If you're a first home buyer, check whether you're eligible for any government grants or stamp duty concessions in the state you're buying in. These vary from state to state. For example, Queensland offers a $15,000 first home buyer grant for new homes, while Victoria offers a similar grant, but with different qualifying criteria. The other thing to be aware of is cooling off periods. Different states have different cooling off periods when you make an offer on a property. In Victoria, the cooling off period is 3 days, whereas in Queensland, it's 5 days. A pro tip here is to hire a local conveyancer or solicitor who understands the specific property laws and tax requirements of the state in which you're buying. Tip number 3 is to consider engaging a buyer's agent. When purchasing property in a state you're unfamiliar with, especially if you're not able to inspect the property regularly in person, a buyer's agent can be invaluable. Buyer's agents are professionals who work on your behalf to find the best property that meets your criteria, negotiate the price, and handle the due diligence. A local buyer's agent will have in-depth knowledge of the area and access to off-market listings that might not be available to the general public. They can also handle property inspections and attend auctions on your behalf if you're unable to travel. The other thing is costs. While buyer's agents charge a fee, their local expertise and ability to negotiate better deals can save you money in the long run. For investors, buyer's agents can also help you identify high-growth areas with good rental returns. Pro tip: make sure your buyer's agent is licensed in the state where you're buying. This ensures that they have the right local knowledge and legal expertise. For my clients that are looking to buy interstate, I have buyer's agents that I refer them to within local areas to be able to assist them in getting that right knowledge. And on the other hand, I have people from interstate that refer me to their clients to assist them when they're looking to buy in Melbourne and Victoria. Okay, so expert tip number 4 is organise property inspections. One of the biggest challenges when buying interstate is the ability to physically inspect the property yourself. Relying on photos or virtual tours alone can be risky, as these may not highlight any potential issues with the property. So how do we manage this? Building and pest inspections. Always arrange a professional building and pest inspection before committing to a purchase. This will help identify any structural issues, termite damage, or other problems that may be or may not be visible during the general inspection. The other thing is with virtual inspections. If you can't be there in person, consider hiring a trusted professional or buyer's agent to conduct a virtual inspection. Many agents offer live walkthroughs via video calls to give you a better sense of the property's condition and surroundings. And finally, visit the property when possible. If the property is a significant investment, it's worth travelling to inspect the property yourself before signing any contracts, especially if it's your first time buying in that area. Flights to different interstate areas can be relatively economical. If you have to travel across the distance of the country, it can make it more difficult. But if you're just looking into a neighbouring state, I think that it's worth the $500 to $1,000 to go and travel there when you're getting really close on a property if you haven't hired a professional or a buyer's agent to help you, just to ensure that you know exactly what you're getting yourself into. I've heard of horror stories where people have bought interstate and they've done the virtual inspection, they've got the building and pest inspections, and that's all been fine. But when they've gone to actually look at the property eventually, that they've noticed that there was significant things in the external environment that were negatively impacting the property. And the common horror story I hear is that there's a major project that is coming up, a major infrastructure project where there's been either new freeways or new developments where they're not very friendly for the property or for the growth of your property into the future, and that can be an absolute nightmare for people. And then what do you do? The pro tip as well here is to make sure you're getting a thorough inspection from a licensed building inspector who is familiar with the local construction and property regulations in that particular state. Expert tip number 5 is to get the right financing. Financing in interstate property can sometimes be more complex, especially for investors. You'll need to ensure that your bank or lender is willing to approve a mortgage for a property in a different state. So the steps to take here are, before you start your search, make sure you get pre-approved for a loan, particularly if you're purchasing in a more competitive market. Lenders often require additional documentation when financing interstate purchases. The other thing is loan terms. Interest rates, terms and conditions vary across lenders, so it's essential to work with a mortgage broker who understands interstate financing. They can guide you through any specific lending criteria that may differ from your local area. The other thing is cross-state fees. There may be additional fees or taxes involved in securing finance for an interstate property, so make sure you account for these in any of your budgeting. The pro tip here is mortgage brokers with interstate experience can help you navigate any lender restrictions and identify which banks are more flexible with interstate loans. The final thing to consider here is property management for investors. If you're buying an investment property interstate, selecting the right property manager is crucial to ensure your asset is well maintained and tenanted. What to look for? Local knowledge. You have to choose a property manager with strong local knowledge of the local rental market. They will help you to set the correct rent, find quality tenants, and handle ongoing maintenance and inspections. The other thing is communication. Since you won't be on site, ensure your property manager provides regular updates and is proactive in addressing tenant issues. They should also have a good network of local tradespeople to manage repairs efficiently. And the last thing's fees. Property management fees vary by state and region, so make sure you understand the full fee structure before signing a management agreement. The pro tip here is to check reviews and ask for references from other investors who have used the property management services in that area to ensure that they are reliable. Because there isn't anything worse than a property where it's being managed a long way away from where you are, you have no oversight on what's going on, and that property manager does not do their job correctly, and all these issues arise. It's not something that you can easily fix because it is so far away. And it also isn't something you know that is happening. So these small issues can become big ones without you knowing. So it's really important that you get the right property management service. So my final thoughts. Buying property interstate can be a great way to diversify your portfolio or find more affordable opportunities. But it comes with unique challenges. Thorough research, understanding local laws, engaging professionals like buyers agents and conveyancers, and organising inspections are all key steps to making a successful interstate purchase. Alright, that ends another episode of Property Ponderings. I hope this has given you a few small tips to make better decisions when you're buying your next property interstate. If you want to discuss anything further from this podcast, or if you're looking for tailored buying or renovating advice, please feel free to contact me on 0400 122 081 or email me at craig@nicholbuyeradvisory.com.au. Thank you. We'll chat again soon. The information provided in this podcast is for general information purposes only and does not constitute financial, legal or professional advice. While we aim to provide accurate and up-to-date information, every property transaction and investment is unique and should seek the advice of a qualified professional before making any financial decisions. The opinions expressed in this podcast are our own and are not a substitute for tailored advice from a financial advisor or a real estate professional. We encourage you to consult with a qualified expert who can address your specific needs and circumstances.